Hi guys, it's Shroomy, and today we're doing something a little bit different. But a couple of you guys said that you want to see a building/furnishing tips kind of video. So today is going to be part one of like a two-part series, I think. Where today we're going to be doing about building the actual house, and the next episode will be about furnishing tips. So if you're gonna get offended by this and think that I'm bragging, please just leave. No hate for Shroomy. Hashtag save the Shroomy 2K. 20? No, I'm trying to be cool. I don't know. Right, so I've got 5 tips. So tip number 1, don't make a square. Right, so you might be tempted to just go into build mode and just do this. They're like, that's what real houses look like, isn't it? To be honest, real houses aren't all cool. But don't worry. My go-to thing is, if you want to make your house look good, just take bits, of your house and just add little bits on it. Make it look like a platypus. That's what we're really going for here. Good old platypi houses. So you can mirror them. It doesn't have to be even. You just want to kind of make it look all wibbly. That's what we're going for. We're going for wibbly houses. Right, so, and also when you're placing your walls, what you want to think about, whilst I just get rid of these, what you want to think about is where the windows are going to be. Now I know some builders just go for it and they go for the outside, but I feel like if you're just starting out, you kind of want to go for stuff you know is going to work. So when I'm building, I really like, where have they gone? I really like to use these windows, but as you can see, say if I wanted to put one of these windows here, I haven't really thought that through. So, but I can place one here. So you've kind of got to think about it. So think in your head, if I wanted to do this to be like a master bedroom, you want this, so this works out quite well. So here I can fit a window there and it will look nice from the inside. So what you don't want to happen is me to try and place one of these windows, which looks fine from the inside, but then when you go outside, it just looks really, really weird because of the shutters. They're pressed up against there, and then there's a gap the other side. So you kind of want to think about it and then adapt your window choices from that. So here, that works well and it looks fine from the inside. So you want to think about, so that's basically a summary of my first tip. You want to think about where you're going to place them. Place your windows and rooms when you're building the walls, if that makes any sense. So it kind of helps you know when you're making the size of it. So here on this bit, I've done quite a good job because I can fit a bedroom there and it'll fit quite nicely, rather than me trying to, I don't know, fit a bedroom here and then you just end up with a really funny space. So you want to end up with kind of, it depends on your personal taste, obviously, but you kind of want to end up with regular kind of rooms that fit in the house well. So it's fine, feel free to this bit, it might look good from the outside, but feel free to do that if it makes building your rooms easier. That's fine, but you want to end up with something you're happy with in the end. So just don't make things that you think, oh, I'll just leave it, because otherwise it'll make your house look funny from the inside. I'm always a fan of decking. It makes instantly anything look better. And also, if you want to go for a different kind of look with your houses, here's a good tip. So here on these corners, you can actually use half walls as little corner pieces, and they fit really well with the pillars as just something to mix it up when you're putting in fencing. Because now, if you look at this, it's kind of just a little bit different, if you get what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I was trying to look through the pillar, but here you can kind of see that it just adds a little bit of something at the beginning. Always try and use foundations. I know it's a bit awkward if you're trying to do it on a budget because you can't afford stairs, but here's a little hack that I've learned if you're building to a budget. Say if you're doing a legacy or something, take your stairs. I'm just going to use it. Oh, no, never do that. Try and always clip them to something. But here, see, you saw those stairs cost 249 simoleons. You can delete the bit underneath it. Obviously, I'm in infinity money mode, but if you do that, it'll actually delete it. gives you some money back from deleting that tiny bit that you can't even tell when you're looking at it from the front. So that's a good thing if you're trying to save money. So my next tip is understand how roofs in The Sims work. So I'm going to try and demonstrate this. Where's a good bit on this house to demonstrate this? Let's just for a second push, I don't know. No, hang on. I just made a mistake. Here, if I push this bit back, but you want to have that bit separate. So you've gone like this. You're like, oh, the roof looks nice there. But you want to have a roof going across here. Don't do this. This is what people do because they don't understand how the roofs work. It's fine if that's deliberate. But this bit, this tool here, is your best friend. You just pull that back and then it instantly gets rid of it. Rather than you having, I don't know, a funny bit at the front. So that is a good tip if you just get to know how Sims roofing works. And also if you're building a larger house, they added in the copy tool. So here, let's say I just changed the pitch of this roof. I wasn't counting at all. But you want to keep the pitch of your roofs the same on the detail pieces. So here is a prime example of when you want to use this, when you want to get familiar with that other tool. So if you've watched my speedboards, you'll see I do this quite a lot. But then it looks a lot better than if you have that. And also always add roof trim to your roofs. This is my personal favourite because I don't think this one really does anything. This one just makes it look like CC. I don't know why. And then this one I just find a bit too big. So this is my personal favourite. And you can just slap it on and it makes anything look better. And also with roofing, I like to, if I'm doing a house like this where there's a main kind of piece going through the middle, which is over the majority of the house. You obviously want to scoot all of these bits back so they blend in, including this bit. But I always like to make this bit a bit higher. I don't know, I find it looks nicer from the front. Look at that now, and then look at it if it's shallow. It just looks a bit funny. It looks like your house has been squashed. So that's always a good tip. Also, don't make your roofs like stupidly low. Well, you can do it with these ones, the flat ones, but when it comes to these pointy ones, don't make them like that. Because that's not very realistic. But then don't make them like this unless you're deliberately doing that. Go watch my Snow White build, I did that. But you just need to play around with the roofing so that you understand how it works, so that you can kind of use it to your advantage. That copy tool is really helpful if you are struggling with building. Right, so I'm just gonna finish off this house and make it kind of look presentable. Right, so my next tip is to add dormers. So this is kind of in the next one. It's kind of in the same point because it's a roofing tip. But dormers, obviously you do them on a larger house than this usually, but you can do them here. Dormers are these little things. You don't necessarily have to play with them. You can, but you just put them up there, add a little roof on them, and they're really helpful actually when you're creating houses, especially if you have large expanses of roof that are bare, just to add something there to them. So I'm not going to put them on this house because it doesn't really suit it. But also if you're doing a smaller Tudor cottage, if you have get together, they have little dormers here. So if you want to incorporate those into your build, if they're more size appropriate, like in this house, that would be the right size of dormer. And also I like to, if I have a really long flat wall, always add a chimney. It looks a lot better. But I don't like using these chimneys. A few of them are alright, like this one's okay. I really, really dislike these ones. I don't know why, I'm not sure, but you can make chimneys like this, and then you just add the walls on them and do a little bit of a half wall on the top, and then it makes a really good chimney. And then you can just colour that in with brick or whatever you want to do your chimney in, but they're really good and they add kind of a bit of something to the outside of your houses. So then my next tip comes to when you're actually so you've built your house, you're happy with it, but you don't want to mess it up. So you go to do siding, which is something you can do on a house and it makes it look really nice. But then I'm not sure whether it's going to do it on this house. Yeah, here, right. So you're like, oh, I want a nice blue house. What's this? Yeah, here, nice and pretty. This bit, ugly. Where's the corner bit gone? And look, it even does it on the front of your house where you want it to look really nice, because that's the first bit you see. So what are you meant to do? This is an annoying glitch in The Sims 4 where it doesn't always place corner pieces. So what you want to do is, even before you do this, don't get yourself in a pickle, otherwise it won't match. So you want to take the one without any corner pieces on it. Trust me on this one. It's exactly the same as the other one. And then if you have Get Together, use these pillars here. They're really cheap and they look really good. But then obviously if you don't have Get Together, you can use any of the other pillars. I've seen people use these ones. I would use these ones. You can really use any of them. These ones would work really well if you had a bigger foundation. But you just want to put something on the corners. You can see that these ones work really well because they used to have a glitch on the bottom where they were dirty, but it kind of completes off the rooms. It makes the corners look really tidy, and also it looks nice if you have it in the roof. Obviously if you've got a dormer, you can put them on and they look really nice, like tucked into the roof. It just makes it just finishes off a house, and it like puts that little bit of detail on it that makes it look really pretty. So you'll notice a lot of simmers do that, because you can't always rely on those auto pillars. If they work for you, because it's really temperamental, if they work for you, go ahead, use them. But if they don't be afraid of just using something else instead. So my next tip is to use build cheats. Now, not everyone knows them. I will try and remember to put them on the screen now. So the ones that I use, obviously, you want to go Control-Shift-C, testing cheats on. So that is your go-to cheat. If you're not familiar to the game, that is the cheat that enables you to put any cheats in and for them to work. So your favourite one is bb.moveObjects on. You don't have to put the on, but some people like to. So what bb.moveObjects allows you to do, let me just put some roofing on here. And also, here's another just quick bonus tip. Don't go for the default roofing, because it makes it look like you don't know that there's other ones in the game. So here, if I just put that, it makes it look like I just slapped down the roof, but once I put that on, it makes me look like I know what I'm doing. So what bb.moveObjects allows you to do, let's just take this little palm tree. So normally, you would only be allowed to place it here, but now I could place it on the roof if I really wanted to. And the best feature about bb.moveObjects, if I just go into this house, sorry, it's gone a little bit funny, is to allow you to raise objects. Now, if you've seen simmers doing speed builds, they might not have addressed it. Most of them are really good, and I've never addressed it before on my channel, but that's only because I'm new. It allows you to raise objects. So if you want to put a shelf, right, for example, you've got a really nice house, you want to put a shelf on it. That's where it's surfacing. You want to put a shelf in your house. So here you've got your nice little shelf like this, right? And you want to put some clutter on it. Apologies if you don't like clutter, but I really like it in houses. So some objects, for example, these tissues, or I don't know, these toothbrushes, they'll clip on nicely and then you can just place those. But if, say you wanted these on your shelf, so what you're going to do is go Control-9, you just press 9, or you can press and hold and wait until it like sits on the shelf. And then what you're going to do with move objects, because obviously you don't want it on the wall, you're going to press Alt, and that allows you to move it anywhere. So if I'm not holding Alt, I can just do it on the grid, but if you want to place it anywhere, you press Alt. And then that allows you to then build whatever you want. So say if I wanted to put these products on this shelf, or on this shelf, I went a bit click happy there. You can now just move them around freely and place them wherever you want. Another tip is to, if your shelves are looking a little bare, you can make it look like you've just lent pictures up on your shelf, so like this. It just adds something to your shelves. So that is one of my favourite cheats. And then if you're trying to build if you want something in specific, you can use bb.ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement. Now, this cheat allows you to, for example, let's go into the desks. So your sim, this desk is a really pretty desk. So let me just change the colour of it to match the shelves, because I'm like that. So this desk, normally, if you hadn't typed in that cheat, wouldn't come up. But if you read here, it says unlocked at level 8 of the doctor career. So you would normally get that desk if you were either playing in free build, so you didn't have a family, or you'd got to level 8 of the doctor career. But with that cheat, it allows you to use anything from the game. So like this desk, very pretty, very cluttered, lovely. It says when you reach level 7 of the writer career while in the journalist branch. So normally you would only be able to get that if you'd got to there, but now it just lets you use anything. So again, here is, I don't know, you can use this really pretty chair. It's very expensive, but you can use this chair if you wanted to. Or the really, really cool sciencey computers that you would only be able to get in the criminal career. So it allows you to have full access to any item in the game. There is also a cheat called Show Hidden Objects. I find that cheat very overwhelming, but you can find other information on how to use that cheat. So my other tip is, you might have seen, let's for example, I do this with chairs quite a lot. And so you might have seen simmers do this, where they can just go like this, whee, where they can spin stuff around. The way they've done that is, normally when you first get the Sims 4, you are in the Sims 4 camera. A lot of people don't like the Sims 4 camera, but I didn't realise you could change it when I first learnt how to play the game, so I've kept it on, because that's the only, if I try and use the Sims 3 camera, I can't play the game, it confuses me. But what you need to do to be able to do that spinny thing, you need to be in the Sims 4 camera, in the Sims 3 camera, sorry. So if you're getting confused, you're in your game and you're like, I want to spin stuff, you click on this little camera, click on this one, and then you're in the Sims 3 camera. Once you're there, providing you have bb.move objects on, you can go Alt, which allows you to move it anywhere, as we spoke about before, and then you want to hold down your mouse and then just turn it wherever you want. So you just hold down the clicker on your mouse and then you can turn it wherever you want. So that's one of my other tips. So that's really helpful. Obviously you'll see in my speed builds that I go to and fro using both cameras, but that is because I didn't realise you could change it until I wanted to be able to freely spin stuff. And then the next tip is for lazy landscaping. Now, landscaping is my least favourite bit about house building. So what I tend to do is, I have a few favourite trees. This is one of my favourite trees because I really like the size and it's quite cheap. But anyway, just put down a few trees because they always make it look better. A good tip is to base it off the trees that are in your area, because all of the trees that they use in the game are trees you can get from the build catalogue. So here they have the oak tree, so you want to find that, and then it just makes your house blend in a bit more. But my lazy landscaping, I kind of have a rule. So what you want to do is put down some dirt, just wherever you want to put your plants, just messily. It doesn't have to be neat, I promise. And obviously depending on what world you're in, you'll change your dirt. And then what I love to do is, I kind of have a set rule of plants that I use. I love these really tall ones to put next to stairs or in corners. They look really nice. And also this hedge I way prefer over having to place these individually or this huge one. I really love this hedge. But one of my favourite things to do is put down these ferns. Now, there's like mixed opinions on these, but I love, my lazy landscaping basically entails choosing plants that, and yeah, also if your plants do this, it's really annoying, it's a glitch in the game. But I like putting down big plants so that they take up more room and I don't have to do as much landscaping. So once I've done that, I will tend to put down these plants. Now, they look kind of gross depending on which colour you get them in, but I like the blue and the white ones the best. And then, if you want to have like a fancy house, you can use these fancy trimmed ones. But then, this is like the holy grail plant of the whole game. This plant is great. It takes up so much space, it looks lovely. If you size it up, you can do it for to fill up spaces, which I do quite a lot. So you just place it and it instantly makes it look more full. This is a great plant, as again, it takes up space. That's what we want here, that's the aim. And then also these little bushes are great for filling in spots. And then in the flowers section, these are great, again, big plants, take up a lot of space. Great if you're running out of time and you just want to get a house out, you want to finish it. These plants, they look pretty unassuming if you don't look at them properly, but they're great for going around edges of houses or gardens and stuff like that. And then yeah, those are some of my favourites. And then these plants are also good for filling up spaces. They come in a lot of colours and they just make it look more full and, I don't know, I don't know, better, I guess. Is that something bad to say? They just make it look more alive. So that's one of my other things. And then this one, I can't claim credit for this, but I thought I'd share it with you in case you hadn't already seen it. So this was invented by Deligracy. She first came up with this. She's a very well-known simmer. If you haven't checked out her channel, you really should. But I thought I'd share it with you guys because it is great if you're having a difficult space. So here, we're just going to get out the fencing that we used last time on the decking. It doesn't really go with this house, but you know, it's fine. It's a good thing to show you guys. So what you want to do is you want to make a space. It looks like you're trying to make a deck, but then you want to put in pillars wherever you want them. So I'm just going to put them over the little corner bits. So you're going to go up to the next bit, and you can either use half walls for this, or this one is my favorite. It's the third cheapest thing in the game. And what you want to do is you just want to connect the dots, kind of. See, I'm just connecting each little space together, and this creates such a pretty effect once we're finished. So you see it will have filled in. So what you want to do is create a kind of cross-hatched look across like this. And then what you want to do is take the sledgehammer at the top, or the delete thing, whatever you want to call it, and just delete the bottom, delete all of the little squares of flooring that the game automatically puts in. So what we're creating here, I'm not sure what you call it in your countries, we would call it a canopy in the UK. And then taking our trusty plant, you can either size them up to do this, or just keep them small, but basically we're creating the look of a plant, like growing up there basically, and it just makes it look really pretty. So that's ends the first part of my building series. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope these tips were helpful for you, and I will see you guys in my next video. So bye guys.